Hello everyone. Playing a superhero is great. Movies based on comic books have long since ceased to be entertainment for geeks only. Today, almost all famous actors have starred in superhero movies, but what seems unbelievably cool on the screen is actually torture during filming: the suits. The unusual super suits can become a real nightmare for actors. Tight fits, lots of makeup, numerous pads and attachments. Ugh. We are going to talk about all of that today. Let's get it on. Spider-Man. All the actors who've played this superhero could talk for hours about how terrible this suit is. You only have to see how tightly the fabric adjusts to the actor's body to grasp just how uncomfortable this suit is. Both Tom Holland and his predecessor Andrew Garfield talked about that. The costume is too tight, it's very hot inside, and in order to use the bathroom, the actor has to take it almost all the way off completely, which is quite complicated, especially because the set is full of paparazzi looking for something, juicy. Overall, it is a nightmare. At the end, Garfield's pleas were heard, and the next version of his suit was fitted with a fly. Black Panther. Comic fans have been waiting for Black Panther to appear on the big screens forever, and when it finally happened, most of them were delighted. People were especially impressed with the suit that completely hid Chadwick Boseman under the black material, making the actor really look like a comic book character. But Chadwick himself wasn't so happy. Of course, at first he was impressed and felt great responsibility, until he discovered he couldn't put on the Black Panther costume by himself. He had to ask his assistants for help and control his breathing to avoid a panic attack because the outfit was very tight. Also, the heat inside it was really suffocating. As you can see, to star in a superhero movie, you really need to be a hero. Mystique. In the Marvel comics, there are many really brilliant and unusual people, and other creatures. One of these great characters is Mystique. This spectacular blue-skinned and yellow-eyed mutant hit the big screens in the early 2000s, played by Rebecca Romijn. Later, the character was played by Jennifer Lawrence, and although quite some time had passed, the same makeup technique was used. For 6 hours, 7 professional makeup artists put silicone scales on different parts of the actress's body to create the effect of reptile skin, and then applied 3 coats of blue paint with sprays and another 5 coats of paint in other shades to create texture. In the end, it had some consequences. Jennifer had an allergic reaction and even thought about rejecting the role. It's easy to understand. It's not worth taking part in a movie if you have to suffer from pimples, blisters, and inflammation all over your body. But there was a solution. An ultra-thin suit, revealing only a few areas of the body, was created specifically for Jennifer. This allowed a much smaller amount of paint to be used. In addition, Mystique appears more frequently in their human form, which doesn't require any type of paint. C-3PO. British actor Anthony Daniels is best known for his role as C-3PO in the Star Wars saga, and this isn't surprising, because Daniels starred in all the films of the franchise, although he never showed his face. Initially, the actor refused to meet George Lucas or audition for the role, but the agent was persistent. That's how one of the most famous droids in history appeared. Daniels first tried on the whole costume just one day before shooting, and that's probably why he didn't refuse the role. It was just too late. His plastic armor wasn't particularly comfortable. The costume, which consisted of separate parts, was simply not suited to sudden movements or fast walking, so Daniels kept acting even after the cut. Also, in hot conditions, the plastic would heat up pretty quickly and break all the time, damaging the skin with sharp fragments. They say that the actor was even injured and had to wear bandages. Batman. Gotham City's greatest knight has appeared in many films. He's been played by a variety of actors over the years, and costume designers created many different costumes for the role. From the funny tights in the 60s to the armor of Zack Snyder's films, all of them were great and strange in their own peculiar way. Every actor who's ever played Batman has faced different problems on the set as well. In the comics, it was very simple. The Dark Knight wears a suit strong enough to block bullets and knives, but flexible enough for Batman to jump over rooftops, fight, and drive the Batmobile. But recreating that on the screen is not easy. When Tim Burton took over the filming, he decided that the main role would be played by Michael Keaton. But here's the problem. Keaton's a medium build guy, not a bodybuilder, so the costume designers came to help. They created not just a costume, but a whole armor, so heavy and tight that the actor actually began to suffer from claustrophobia. That's why Keaton looks so gloomy in the movie. Try to relax when you're forced to wear such a thing. By the way, in Batman Returns, the costume was changed. A more flexible material was used, and finally a fly was added. The previous suit didn't have this simple and necessary element. No wonder Keaton wasn't at all happy with his first Batsuit. Vision. Bringing characters of unusual skin color to the screen is always a challenge for makeup artists, but the actors suffer a lot too. Imagine getting up really early, like at 5 a.m. Then for several hours you have to sit while experts put makeup on you and tuck you into an incredibly tight suit which doesn't let air through, not even a little. Of course it fits the body very well, but the body inside is not happy at all. Paul Bettany, who played Vision, confessed that meditation and reading helped him to cope with the unpleasant sensations he had to experience every day. And if the heat could be managed with a system of small tubes with icy water, the sensation of not being able to breathe was a real problem. Some people have trouble just thinking about it, but Bettany turned out to be a true professional, going through this challenge over and over again. And at the end of each day of filming, he would happily get rid of the makeup and the rubber layers on his face in just a few seconds. Let's hope the makeup artist didn't see this. Godzilla. Nowadays, the giant monster that destroys everything in its path is created using computer graphics. But in 1954, when the first Godzilla movie was released, everything was a bit different. Initially, the special effects director wanted to create the monster with a simple stop-motion animation, but was forced to abandon this idea. The Godzilla costume consisted of bamboo sticks, wire, metal mesh, and latex. The first model weighed 100 kilograms, and it had an actor inside. For close-ups, a smaller mechanical puppet with manual control was created, but the rest of the time, Godzilla's role was played by people. One of them was Haruo Nakajima, who was chosen for his strength and endurance, and not in vain. During the first test of the costume, Nakajima fell because of the heavy latex and the inflexible materials. After that, a second, lighter version of the costume was created, but the actor couldn't wear that more than 3 minutes because he would just simply faint. As a result of all of these experiments, Nakajima lost 9 kilograms, but all these hardships were not in vain. The film spawned a franchise, recognized as the longest-running movie franchise of all time. Green Lantern. Okay, now we know why tight or heavy suits are uncomfortable. It's hard to wear them. Makeup and pads cause skin problems, and in general, acting in these costumes is not easy. So, why not just paint the costumes on the computer instead of torturing the actors? Well, it's not as good an idea as it might seem. Of course, it is possible, and sometimes even necessary to resort to CGI, but you have to be careful, otherwise the result would be, well, like Green Lantern. Hal Jordan's suit, modeled completely on the computer, looked very, very bad.
You smell funny.
No wonder fans were so shocked when they saw it in action. But Ryan Reynolds hated it more than anyone. The actor despised it so much that he even made a couple of jokes about Green Lantern in Deadpool. Do you remember that moment when Wade begs that his suit should not be in any way green or animated?
And please don't make the super suit green. Or animated.
Now you know why. The Thing. The first film about the Fantastic Four was, how do you put it, not very good, despite its commercial success. However, critics praised actor Michael Chiklis. He is a true Marvel fan and had always dreamed of playing the Thing in a film about the Fantastic Four, and Michael's dream came true. However, he probably couldn't have imagined the difficulties he would have to face on the set. The actor was bound to suffer constantly. The film was shot in 2005, and the Thing's costume was not CGI made, which may not be so bad, if you remember Green Lantern. However, Michael Chiklis had to wear a heavy orange coat created by the costume designers. A thick layer of makeup was applied to the actor's face, making him unrecognizable. When Michael's wife first came to the shoot, she was apparently very upset because her her husband was completely hidden under the outfit, but the number of layers was not the only problem. Michael suffered all the time from the heat as well. Imagine carrying a portable sauna on you all the time, and on top of that, you need to act.
Thank you.
All in all, the fact that Michael agreed to star in the sequel shows his love for the comics. We doubt anyone would dare to do this just for money. Psst, dude, are you looking for new technologies and great gadgets? Are your thoughts focused on the future? Do you love huge vehicles and can't imagine your life without robots around you? Then visit TechZone and you'll find all this and more. The link is in the description. You interested? Great.